Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. My aircon is finally fixed, so I'm not dying in this heat, and that means I'm back to making videos. I'm actually also back from Nashville. First time there for Summer NAMM as well, and it was sick. Not much of a vlogger. I like being there and talking to people without sticking the camera in their face, but I did want to make some kind of video. So without further ado, here are the top 5 things that I saw at Summer NAMM 2019. So I should clarify, this isn't a best of list. It's more of a most interesting list. Like the things that still stick in my mind now that I'm back home in Atlanta. I also have thoughts on the show overall compared to Winter NAMM, which I'll get into at the end. So in no particular order at all, let's get into it. The Gibson booth at Summer NAMM this year was ridiculous. Now Gibson is still trying to figure out how to dig themselves out of this PR hole they put themselves into, but while Summer NAMM is in general a lot lower key than Winter NAMM in Anaheim, Gibson went big with their booth. Huge TV, a lot of light, a lot of sound, and new Kramers. Now, I've never been a huge Kramer fan. As far as I can tell, the brand kind of peaked and died before my time. By the time I really started to get into playing, if you wanted that kind of 80s style guitar, Charvel was the go-to brand. But this year, Gibson is finally starting to show more interest in Kramer. Aljon Go, who does product development for Gibson and Epiphone, is a huge fan of the brand. We saw stuff like the purple single cut and the new Night Swan in January, and now we've also got a couple of new Super Strats, including this obnoxiously baby blue monster of a guitar. I know there's going to be a lot of comments like, oh, Gibson's telling everybody else to play authentic and then comes out with Super Strats, and yeah, I don't know, I'm staying out of this one. But yeah, they're really cool, and even after the show, I'm still thinking about that color. It also reminded me that I actually really want that purple single cut. But yeah, it looks like proper attention is actually being paid to Kramer, which is awesome. I'm actually excited to potentially see what I've been missing out on. Going in the complete opposite direction of nostalgia, we've got the Gyrock guitar from Wild Custom, and it has an insane pickup system. The basic idea is one guitar, 6 different pickups, 3 for each of the 2 switchable cylinders in the bridge and neck positions that can be rotated to completely change the sound without rewiring. The cylinders are also modular, so they can be swapped out through the back of the guitar if the situation demands it. You have to admit, it's a pretty cool concept. That being said, really not sure about the execution. The actual switching feels good, it's seamless. I picked one up just to strum a couple times, it felt pretty nice, and it should, for the asking price of $16,000 US. That's a lot of money. A concern that came up is I wonder if the extra magnets would affect tone or sustain like they do with my 3 pickup G400 Custom. More magnets generally equals more pull on the strings. There was nothing to really plug it into to test, and at that price, I guess I will never know. The finishes and stuff are okay, but the shape is so ugly. The headstock is not attractive either. Look, I have no problem with expensive guitars. People can buy whatever they want with their own money, but it seems a lot like innovation that nobody was asking for. And even at like $1,500 to $2,500, I can see some people biting for novelty's sake, but at $16,000 with the subjectively awful name of Gyrock, I just can't see them shifting many units. I do wish them the best of luck though, to prove me wrong. Now, if $16,000 is a little out of your price range, like it is mine, there's the new Squier Contemporary Active Starcaster. At a much more reasonable $400, you could literally get like 30 of these plus a new set of pickups for each one for the same money. It comes in 3 colors at launch: flat black, ice blue metallic, and the surf pearl that was on display at NAMM. The construction is pretty cool. The maple body is actually semi-hollow. Then the bolt-on neck and 22 fret fingerboard are also maple. It has the same SQR active pickups that were in the Jazzmaster I demoed, really cool old school tone and volume knobs. I have to admit, with those body and headstock shapes, it's pretty ugly looking, but ugly in like a cool way. Basically, I want it, and I have no idea why. Actually, yeah, I do. That's a lie. It's the Surf Pro color. Next on the list is the updated Vola Oz. It's been a while since I've done a video on anything Vola. I made something on the Blaze X, which I really liked, and also the Aries, which I absolutely loved. Volas are expensive, but not unreasonably so. The production models are made in Japan, and the craftsmanship is unbelievable. The hardware is also amazing, Goto everything. So what's cool about the new ones? Well, first of all, they've made the new neck shape slimmer, more of what you'd expect when you pick it up. That really threw me off with the Blaze X. It looked like a metal guitar, and then the neck was just this massive baseball bat. I liked it, but it was not what I was expecting at all. The new ones are much slimmer and more in line with what you'd expect from a modern metal guitar. Then there are the new finishes, which previously you'd only find on the Blaze models. There's what I call the Nebula Burst, which steals the show every year. And the one that I'm really into is the open multicolored grain. And I love how the pickguard is transparent so you can actually appreciate the finish underneath. Really, Vola had some of the most stunning guitars on the show floor, this one in particular. I just saw Fluff got one of these, he seems to really like it. I talked to the Vola guys, that's one you're gonna see on this channel whether you like it or not. Hopefully you do, it's a really cool guitar, I can't wait to do the full rundown, you guys are gonna love it. The last thing, oh, it's so disappointing. I can't actually show what I'm really excited about, but Algin took me and Steve from Boston on a quick tour of the Epiphone HQ. And first of all, what a cool office. I'd love to work in a space like that. But he showed us some prototypes of new and me being the Epiphone fanboy that I am, that was unreal for me. Unfortunately, there's an information embargo, so I'll have to bleep out what I'm not allowed to share yet. But I mean, the new on the are absolutely killer. And then the new, oh my god, they've got are unbelievable on everything. And Algin said that they were aiming for, which is ridiculous. Although I have to admit, I'm not sold on the I get why, but it didn't really do it for me. Oh man, this section's just gonna be one long bleep or Algin's gonna kill me. So those were the most interesting gear-related things that I saw at Summer NAMM. Now for a couple of key takeaways. Compared to Winter NAMM, Summer NAMM is far more intimate, for lack of a better word. Like compared to the Anaheim show, there's fewer people, there's more space in between the booths. You can actually see all the cool stuff without waiting in a massive queue. Like it was almost weird, just walk right into the Fender booth, right up to the active Starcaster, and it was like, wait, this is really cool. Is no one else seeing this? Honestly, I prefer it. I don't actually like playing things on the show floor. I prefer talking to the reps to know exactly what I'm looking at. Like, why is this different compared to all the other overdrives, teleclones, and plexi-style amplifiers? And that's the other thing. You can actually talk to people, like have conversations, not just shout at each other's faces. And that, I think, is the biggest difference for me. Winter NAMM is more about the gear. This one is more about the people. I spend a lot of time just chatting with reps and with other YouTubers, even on the show floor. And a gear-related takeaway, something that was mentioned a couple of times is that we'll probably see price increases on affordable gear for consumers, specifically gear coming from China. And I don't just mean from Chinese brands, but from any products manufactured in China to keep costs down. The reason being, 25% increase on import taxes. Without getting into the politics of it or debating the reasoning, no, China does not pay the additional tax. That's not how tariffs work. Importers pay it, but the consequence for consumers is the same. Higher cost of goods, like pedals and amplifiers. The larger companies can swallow most of the cost, but smaller companies can't take that kind of a hit without passing it on. So if there's any gear made in China that you've been eyeballing, you might want to make moves on that sooner rather than later. Okay, so those are my highlights and takeaways from this year's Summer NAMM. I'm sure you guys have seen a ton of coverage by now, so what were your highlights? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you're interested in and what you'd want to see on the channel. As always, thanks so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I'll see you for the next video.